This video is sponsored by me. Read my original novel, Dance of Frozen Death. Link in the description. Greetings, fellow mortals. Now, I'm not going to claim that I'm the biggest Scooby-Doo fan ever. It was a cute cartoon when I was a kid. I think that the last version of the Mystery Inc. gang that I watched was the What's New Scooby-Doo show, and I only remember that because I can still hear the theme song in my head. I do remember loving the live-action Scooby-Doo movie when I was a kid, just because of how authentically and lovingly terrible it was. Plus, there was those direct-to-VHS movies like the Zombie Island or the Cyber Chase movie. Oh, and I remember playing those point-and-click mystery games when I was a kid. Those were fun. Okay, so maybe I'm more of a fan than I thought. Sue me. But I have literally gone between the ages of 10 and 27 without watching or experiencing anything Scooby-Doo. It's not like I hate it, it's just that the formula is just that. A formula. Predictable, safe. Even when I heard one of the cartoons had a great overarching story, I just shrugged. I'm glad that younger people could enjoy Scooby-Doo and that superfans got good content. It's not like I want to take anything away from the people who enjoy the talking dog. Unlike the Velma show, which removed Scooby-Doo entirely, I've heard a lot of different reasons as to why, ranging from them not thinking that Scooby-Doo could fit in adult situations, to Warner Brothers forbidding the writers from having him be a part of this. I can understand the second one, kind of. Warner Brothers Discovery didn't want to hurt a brand character, something that makes a lot of sense from a company that keeps losing large chunks of money. But I don't buy the first one. I can think of about 100 different situations off the top of my head where Scooby-Doo is reacting to adult content, and it would be hilarious. If you can't find a way to make a talking dog reacting to drugs and alcohol funny, you might need to evaluate your writing style, because Family Guy's been doing it forever. I'm not saying that it would be the highest level of comedy ever, but that doesn't seem to be what Velma's going for here.
Welcome back, Captain Obvious.
Yes, I am!
So, Scooby-Doo without Scooby-Doo seems like a swing and a miss from the start, but whatever, at least the show doesn't look as ugly as Big Mouth. That's a win. The characters don't look horrendous, it's just that their entire personalities have been changed. They are in no way the same people as the kids' cartoon. Their social dynamic is different. Their levels of intelligence are different. Their level of morality is different. It's almost like they're not the same people at all. Forgetting the obvious design changes to Velma and Shaggy, which everyone should ignore because that doesn't matter. I know that most of the arguing is going to be over the obvious differences here. The usual suspects will be out yelling at each other. Everyone's going to act like they care a lot about Scooby-Doo, just like when Velma's sexuality was shown more prominently last year when she had a crush on a female character. Something I really only know about because the internet wouldn't shut up about it for like a month. I don't care about any of that. I'm more insulted by the fact that they're using Shaggy's real name, Norville. That feels like it's not the same character at all. They probably should have just taken Shaggy out and replaced him with a new character. You really can't have Shaggy or Scooby-Doo without the other. It's not natural. It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense.
Does not make sense!
I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but here, let me read you a summary of the show. At Crystal Cove High School, Daphne is a popular mean girl orphan who deals drugs because of a dark family secret. Her boyfriend Fred personifies mediocre white richness. His mansion holds a dark secret, and he has teeny whittle privates, a subject of much conversation. Shaggy has become Norville, a school newspaper shriver friend-zoned by his beloved Velma. He worries he's a beta male. Remember that lame humor concept from 20 years ago? Oh yeah, And that is an accurate description of the show. I have to be honest with you, when I first read that description, I actually got excited because I realized that this was going to be one of the worst things that I've ever seen from an existing property. If a summary is that bad, I couldn't imagine what a mess the actual show would be, and it did not disappoint. I got a beer in me and laughed so hard I almost fell to the floor. Of course, I didn't laugh for the reasons that the writers wanted me to. It was a more laughing at them instead of with them scenario. It's hard to believe that this show got all the way to this point. Was there no one that stopped and said anything about all this? Was this just made by people who hate Scooby-Doo? Not even some of the characters, not just Freddy, not Daphne, not Shaggy, and not even Scooby-Doo. It felt like they hated Velma too, because that's not the same character.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
None of them are the same characters anymore. They barely even look the same as before. At best, they have their original names and color schemes, because if you take away their looks, their interests, their personalities, their morality, and their social dynamic, they're not the same individuals as before. Not that they were the deepest characters ever created, but it's a bit ridiculous. In a lot of ways, this is as bad fan fiction as it gets. It makes me want to scour the internet to see if they literally stole this from a 12-year-old Tumblr kid. And I'm not even mad, I'm not insulted, and I don't think that hardcore Scooby-Doo fans, which I'm not, should be either, because if there's one thing you can say about this Velma show, it's not even Scooby-Doo anymore. Someone had an idea for a completely different show, and the only way that they could get it greenlit was that if they used these characters' names, which is really funny to me. And I hope that someone makes money out of this in some way, because if anything, I'm entertained. Not for the right reasons, but I am definitely entertained.
Are you not entertained?
If anyone would ask me how to fix this mess, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Scrap everything and start over. Do any other story other than this. Either make something completely new or stick to the old Scooby-Doo characters. Make them how they're supposed to be. Because otherwise, what is the point? Other than someone's desire to project themselves into what they think the original Velma was or should be. They're acting like people and kids hated Velma when I have a distinct memory of elementary school where half the boys thought that she was cuter than Daphne. I usually stand by the concept that any idea can work, but I don't think that this specific collection of ideas can work. Just start over. Either make something original or stay true to what Scooby-Doo is, because I don't see the average person caring about this if they're not into Scooby-Doo, and I don't see Scooby-Doo fans caring about this either. So what's the target audience? People that actively hate Scooby-Doo? I suppose that there are people out there like that, but I would guess that's a small number in the very sharp and hateful sea that is the internet.
Find the hay in the needle stack!
None of this is even worth getting mad about, really. I just think that we're reaching the end of the cycle. They're changing properties so much that they're not even the same thing anymore. Rename the characters and called the show Sleuth Girl, and it's basically the same thing. Hopefully that happens to the rest of these projects as well. Maybe Star Trek will change so much that they'll decide to stop calling it Star Trek. Maybe they'll just rename it to Space Journey and we can move on. Oh, this is a good idea. Rings of power can become the bracelets of strength. Marvel branding could change into the Wonder Cinematic Universe. Star Wars could be Spaceballs. No, wait, that one was already done. But you get my point. We have reached the point where so much has changed that the fan fiction is becoming something new entirely. It has become Twilight, or 50 Shades of Grey, or whatever the fan fiction for 50 Shades is at this point. What would be a good, terrible name for that? Crying Upward, Beastly Beauty, Restrained Love.
dead.
But what do you think? Am I completely off base here? Is Velma even Scooby-Doo anymore? Did you enjoy hate watching this as much as I did? Please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your perspectives. And thank you so much for watching. If you like my takes on storytelling, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It would really help me out. Also, please remember that I just released my original novel, Dance of Frozen Death, Book 1 in the Written in Stone series. Link in the description. I hope that you will check it out. I appreciate you. Do not despair.